我朋友就说想让我 push 一下，现在这个 site 去想一下，这个你到底打算 to be customer plan 这些具体的问题，我可能会 push 一下，因为我和这种问题一弄，Hi,
sorry I forgot. No problem. Please, let me help you.
Thank you so much.
I don't have a pen and paper. Do I need one?
No, it's okay.
Please. You guys know Ronnie, right?
We added,
Ronnie,
each other.
Ronnie does the development for it. He's the hunter.
Right?
Very
important role.
He brings the leads to the group. Then we assess the leads that arrive. Look at many factors, right? And then from there, if we decide that this place is good, then we will do one concept. No, not design. We try to answer two questions first. Why people should come and where people should come.
Yeah.
If we have a valid reply to these two questions, that means, we can provide a reason. Like there is a stable, there are horses, or there is, water, lake, that's why we're gonna do activities, so that's why people are gonna come. Once we do that, then we will plug in the numbers. Then we will come up with a financial feasibility. Once we do that, if we think it is viable, then we will involve design people. Now we take the design and then we explain, say, look, in this land, we think that we can do, 80 to 120 rooms. We think 2 restaurants is enough, no need 3, activity center, ballroom, no need this big, small one, and so on and so forth. Then these guys, they will prepare a plan. Then we take the plan. We get the HMA signed together with the design and technical service contracts. We get all 3 of them, because if we only sign the design, then the developer will say, oh, thank you for the design, now I'm going to give the resort to Hilton. So that to avoid something like this happening, we only do a design if you commit that we are the management company. If there is no such commitment, we will not do the design. Other words, our design studio has only 2 clients, Naked Resorts and Naked House. Right? That's why we don't consider the design as a business unit of Naked Group. Naked Group at its essence has 3, actually you can say 4 main businesses. Retreats, hubs, right? Now we have a new product, co-living product that we are launching, and also Rula, which is our lifestyle app, right? But design studio is sort of an internal business.
Right.
That's quite a large one. Downstairs, more than half of the people are actually working on the design, and I must say they are the busiest team. They are designing. Probably right now they are working about 15 different projects.
Understood.
So just a quick one.
Sure.
So for all the future rollout plans, so they do management contract. For all the rollout plan in the future new sites, they do management contract. They don't want to own.
Well, for now, our strategy before you guys come into the game, we do a management company. Somebody else puts the money, somebody else puts the land. We put the expertise, design, and savoir-faire, and we deliver. So this is the deal. Classic management company style.
Okay, gotcha.
But now that you guys are coming in, things become a lot easier, because you see, 3 different owners, right? It could have 3 different agendas on why they should own a property. This guy might own a property because he wants to please his girlfriend. This guy might want to own a property because he wants to sell all the real estate behind. And this guy wants to own a property because he wants to make money. Right? So if you assume that everybody is looking to make a great profit out of it, you'll be so wrong. So you gotta address individual needs and expectations of the owners. So, and then it becomes very challenging, because, priorities are different, company cultures are different, and so on and so forth. But if you would have one Brookfield who creates one fund, and say, okay, I have this much money here, let's do 6 projects at the same time, right, in strategic location. So then we find the right places, we purchase the right land, we do the designs and get them at the same time. So that means now one company that we are dealing with, easier to understand company culture, easier to understand expectation, you know for sure that the company is looking for profit and is not the face in front of the government and so on and so forth. So it becomes a lot easier in a way to align with the, in terms of delivering, because you know it's a wedding, it's like a, it's like a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
And
once you get into the bed with the developer, you know, you must really understand that company culture. You must fully aligned, and so that later on, things remain in the right perspective.
So as long as the land and the ownership is available, it's still open for discussion.
Right. So this is sort of the steps of how we do the development.
Right. Yeah, let me step back a little bit.
Okay,
so
sure.
we are consultants. We're consultants, and we actually have been with the industry for a while. Real estate market and the resort, like Club Med and others. You know, we're quite.
I work for Club Med for a while.
We yeah, I know. So, but we are more like on the force side, you know.
Right.
So, actually today our discussion will be like based on to assess the market opportunities. So our discussion will be around 3 topics.
Okay.
One is around our existing sites.
Okay.
Super successful. We know that's all the business model quite well already.
Okay.
From outside perspective. So we actually would like to understand more about the future, our key competence. Like going forward, there are so many mini naked stables around the area in Moganshan, like our advantage and going forward our projection, how we operate it. And also the second topic will be around the new sites, probably like especially the new opportunities and the potential challenges, especially the cooperation with the landlord. Usually, in China, the relationship with landlord always tricky. Like how to cooperate with them, make sure our management fee can be collected, etc. So we have several questions around that.
Okay.
And third will be, we actually had the discussion with the Manoj before, like around our internal management, how to enhance your team, like in the future, how to ensure enough resource from the group, meanwhile independent and enough autonomy. So that's what also we would like to understand.
So 3 key components. If we start from the beginning, the first one is the market opportunities that you would like to understand, right? Or existing properties first, and
that for the market actually we did quite some study already.
Okay.
So we had the market sizing model behind, and we know our key competence, especially based on target consumer. First of all, we know some key thesis. Shop break in China growing very fast. Increase affordability drives the growth of luxury sector. Especially our concept for our as a first mover, we have brand and we have this customer group. Meanwhile, we have this to be like corporate clients balance our occupancy rates, which enable us. We benchmark the competitors around. We have one of the highest occupancy rate around the area, even like in Hangzhou. So we know.
The question is, how will that correlate with the competition?
Especially going forward, how it's we believe. Let me start from we believe to see the consumer market will be tremendous potential, but usually consumer are not very loyal, and acquisition cost is expensive. So we want to start from the corporate clients first.
Good.
That's how we're gonna ensure those clients will stay with us.
I'll explain it. Look, classic hotel. Okay, this is a classic hotel. We'll have 2 main segment of clients that we'll call. One of them is transient, which will be your individual client, and the second one will be the groups. Now the groups you can divide into 2: leisure groups and meeting groups. For the sake of our argument, let's stick on the meeting groups, which is what we call the corporate. Okay. Why I say this? Because most of your leisure groups will be a lot minor. Meeting groups will be Brookfields bringing their executives to Moganshan to have a half-a-day strategy meeting and a half-a-day horse riding for their leisure. That is the type of that fits in here. So now what's happening? Well, this, if you want, you need to convince clients one by one, right? The wife takes a decision. You make a decision here, your wife makes a decision there, your wife makes a decision at home. A lot more difficult to sell. You gotta sell one by one. a lot easier because you get one time your business this year, you might get it years and years later.
Stickiness is good.
The stickiness is a lot more. Here is the catch. Hub is what? Is a platform that enables different businesses from different walks of life to be able to work under the same roof. That's what I sell, right? I say, come here, and no matter what your business is, I can create an environment for you to work, other words, an environment for you to meet your objective. So I can easily say that as a Naked Group, I know how to get your company reach your objectives by creating the platform for you in my Hub business. That is a testimony of me getting meeting groups reach their objectives during their short stay in my resorts. Take an example of Shangri-La. If Shangri-La when you go as a meeting group to Shangri-La and say, look, we have a very important strategic meeting. We need to reach certain targets after this 3 days workshop in your property. Can you ensure that? They're gonna say, yes, for sure. If you come to me, I will just show you my hub model and say, look, this happens day in and day out in all the hubs that we own across the world. So we are, in fact, in business of creating platforms for businesses to reach their short-term strategies. And all the exposure into business world around here somehow feeds the resort business in this side. Compared to last year, we are seeing actually an increase in the number of groups that stayed in our resorts compared to the same period. Now, obviously, this year we have a castle that we didn't have before, right? But you need to understand that the market trend is actually showing a lot downwards, especially this year in Q4 and Q1, right? Because so many competition, a lot of new destinations, a lot of new hotels, like a company who goes to Moganshan this year, maybe prefer to go to Suzhou next year, maybe prefer to go to another destination. So it's very difficult to capture that back, right? And despite that, I'm very happy to see that we were able to develop this a lot further. Now, the differentiating factor here is actually the activities and the packages that we create. I think that is the solution to the competition. Because you see, many of these companies, if you pay close attention to what they pitch to these groups, is that, well, we are a 5-star resort or 5-star hotel. We provide you an excellent service without the reason of doubt that, you know, this is the top level of service you can get with top level of product because your company is so high, so that's what we can cater, and this is the price, exclusivity. Hilton, Sheraton, Four Seasons, any hotel, any 5-star hotel that you think will serve gives that. So in a way, if you think of a product way, they are sort of trying to show you how beautiful the Louis Vuitton bag is. But what I'm selling is not that. What I'm selling is the experience of living in the bamboo forest, or an experience of being in a lake, or an experience of being in a riverside. So I'm not trying to sell a status, or I'm not trying to sell a 5-star service. What I'm trying to sell is what that location is known for. I'm trying to sell that through the hotel. That factor is the differentiating factor, meaning people don't come to Moganshan because we have the best meeting facilities, nor we have the best food, although our food is great, nor we have the best service. Moganshan Naked Stable and Naked Castle gives you the best window for you to experience the surrounding of Moganshan. And that is the capturing point of this, because that creates the experience and that brings them whatever their objective is. If the objective was to motivate the staff, that is the end goal.
We actually talked to our assistant who organized our outing last year, and what you said, the activity, they don't need to find another travel agency, and everything. We've actually been there for our company, for different teams, been there for many times. Fully agreed. So going forward, because we also believe price sensitivity for corporate is low, stickiness is higher, referral rate is higher. Just want to know more details, like what kind of industry and what kind of companies that you are focusing.
Good question.
And what kind of ratio you eventually the company.
Well, this year we've seen a big pickup in the automotive industry in 2017. Although automotive industry has been visiting Naked Stable in the past, we have certain, but this year around it came really one after another in a way, like Ferrari did it, so did the Porsche, and Porsche did it, and then Maserati came, and then Lamborghini came.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was all they have really competition, isn't it? I mean, they're owned by similar companies, but those aerial shots that they take when Maseratis were going up to the castle and all that sort of created the buzz. So, industry-wise, we can say automotive industry being one of the important one, real estate industry being another one. Companies that are doing real estate, they show a lot of interest to Naked Castle.
So their purpose is not only for travel, right?
Outing.
No, I mean, but more like experience to understand your product. Maybe some to learn or copy. Yeah, you can say that as well, right? I mean, look, government, right? It's an inexisting market currently in the five-star hotel business. We used to have a government segment. After 2012, it doesn't exist anymore. We all know the reason, right? Yeah. So when you think of our resort in Naked Castle, we do around 400 to 500 government offices per month, generating around 150 to 200,000 revenue in our hotel. This is just coffee, and because they are not allowed to stay. This is just a coffee and tea. This is just them coming and visiting for the same reason. They want to see how we build it, why we did it, and so on. But the real estate companies is several-fold. Well, first, because maybe the boss wants to take pictures in the castle. There's a lot of, I won't hide to you. There is a type of clientele who really wants to experience the bamboo forest. Then there's a type of clientele who's looking for selfie. Once the selfie is done, his interest is. But for us, it really doesn't matter what's the reason that they are coming. So we talk about automotive industry, real estate industry. We saw some pharmaceutical industry doing some high-end, I would say, incentive outings, not seminars or things, maybe to recognize some of the doctors or health. It's very covered, so it's not like, look, let's introduce you, this is the head doctor of United Family Hospital. It's not like that. It's very covered, but we know for a fact that these are some of the doctors. It's not being incentivized. Another groups that we get is social outings, right? It could be that usually high-level business people, chairman, CEOs, and all that. They are coming with groups of friends or groups of business partners to last week, Morning Whistle. You guys know Morning Whistle?
Yeah.
Morning Whistle event, very similar event.
That's an internet forum or something. Yeah.
Right. So they brought in the CEOs and chairmen of top investment companies in China. Yeah. The benchmark was 200 billion.
Yeah, launch some AI, financial AI tools or something like that.
It's crazy, And it was great because these guys, they were able to interact together and on bungalow products, right? With 5 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms. Really enables people, you like 5 executives in there for the weekend. I bet you by Monday morning they will come up with solutions to 10 problems. Yeah. That's what that product does. Because what's the alternative of that product? Well, Westin's meeting room. We can get 5 rooms in the Westin, rent 1 meeting room, put 5 CEOs in the guest rooms, do breakfast, coffee breaks, and meetings. Or we can take them to a mountain in Moganshan, put them in a beautiful bungalow with an ayi who cooks them bread and cooks them eggs. So you see that rustic touches enables people to bond a lot more.
Right.
So these guys, they met in the morning time. by the evening, the CEO, chairman of Mautai was singing a song, you know, because they bound the surrounding. And before the group left, the chairman of Morning Whistle was telling me, okay, you know, how about November we do the second one? And I said, okay, well, you know, maybe we can do in Suzhou. We have a new property in Suzhou.
Yeah.
So, you know, the event seems to be already a trend.
Yeah.
Another meeting sort of segment that happens is the product launches.
Yeah.
Right? A recent example was a beer that was introduced by, was it Carlsberg or Heineken company? I think it was Carlsberg, right?
Did they stay overnight? Stay overnight or just come in and go?
No, stay overnight.
Oh.
Stay overnight. So they actually, some of them stay 2 nights. They had this beer and they want to do a launch, so they invite media, they invite some KOLs and put them all in there. They bring a PR company, do shows, spectacles and stuff like that. And that uses Naked Castle as a backdrop or Naked Stable as a backdrop.
Yeah.
So these are sort of the main categories of activities that we do.
Benchmarking with the Banyan Tree and the other resort around us, and we really believe that proportion of corporate groups client is one of our key advantage. Like that.
Well, I mean, I work for Banyan Tree,
Right, I know.
and Banyan Tree tried very hard to get into the MICE segment, but their understanding of the MICE segment and their positioning
and activities
were not there. In a way, it contradicted between, you know, she bringing her family there because, you know, it's so calm and quiet, and you bringing 6 of your colleagues with bow ties and, you know, with suits and jackets didn't correlate well enough in Banyan Tree settings.
Right.
In fact, when they appointed their new, who is currently the CEO of Banyan Tree, but who was before China in charge of China, right? Their VP, and this guy really tried to deliver hard in the group business.
Right, I heard about
but they failed because people didn't believe that. I mean, everybody knows that you can have a great stay in Banyan Tree, but whether that will lead to you achieving your business objectives.
Yeah.
Because today, any company who comes and spends money under this segment wants something in return.
Right.
It's not for nothing. I mean, it could be to motivate your staff so that they work better. Or it could be to motivate your salespeople so that they sell more. It could be to strategize for a new year ahead.
Right.
But always there's an agenda. So I think that's where Banyan Tree came short, saying, because their pitch, well, come and be calm and find yourself and, you know, rejuvenate, just didn't cut it for them.
Yeah. So back to that. So another question is based on, I understand, can you give me some like quantitative number from the beginning of the Naked Castle until 2017? What's the growth rate of business group?
Well, Naked Castle has opened in May only.
Naked Stable.
I can give it. So you want to know group room nights, say from 2011 till 2017, right? How that curve increased.
Exactly.
Okay, I can give.
That's
you
what
you want room nights and maybe you want also ADR.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
We want to highlight this advantage.
Okay.
Or maybe just give me some like a rough number. So the potential, I mean, the customer mix between the business group and the transition group.
Okay, so transient versus the group room nights ratios.
Yeah.
Room nights ratios.
Yes.
Okay.
You can provide some like rough number. I know roughly right now it's like 70 to 30, right?
Right. That is the room night mix.
Yeah.
Right. Then you gotta look also R&B value mix.
Right.
Then we have to take a look group numbers, right?
Right.
Because you might have 200 room nights last year, by let's say coming from 4 groups, and this year you might have 200 room nights coming from 10 groups, right?
Yeah.
So that means that although the room nights remaining intact, the group sizes is decreasing.
why that could be? Well, that could be that the companies who were taking 10 people out last year can only afford to take 8 people out this year because they don't want to spend the same money for 10 people,
Right.
so on and so forth. I can give these numbers.
And going forward, because we heard from a lot of like resort or kind of copy that kind of similar concept of our hotel or resort. So how can we really have the stickiness of this business group?
Right.
Loyalty program. We know the service currently is very good.
Yeah.
Just any loyalty or incentive plan to.
We are currently working on creating a loyalty program that's going to have primarily targeting the transients, meaning similar to your classic loyalty program. But for this segment, we are thinking of a bookers rewards system because you see, many of these events are booked not through the company's boss himself, but through somebody,
assistant,
an admin assistant, an HR person, a marketing person, somebody who we call the booker. So the idea is to influence those.
The booker community.
Yes, and this system is currently in place in several companies, several big companies. Starwood has it, I believe IHG has it, Shangri-La has it.
Right.
Right? Reward is great. I mean, it's not a big reward, if you would, but what enables you is to create a sense of community, right? So you do an annual event, you do a 6-month party for them, and you invite them, you introduce your new ballroom, you prepare a new menu for the new year, and call them to give it a try.
Make them feel
comments,
good.
And if you're gonna buy a new uniform for your stuff, you say, hey, you guys wanna come and give your opinion about that? So what happens is that they feel part of it,
right?
And the key here is not to be greedy, you see. Now, watch this out. In the month of January, right, if you take, say, a transient client, right? Let's say a transient client pays you, let's just imagine, 1,500 RMB, right? Now, a group client, let's say, pays you 1,200, just for the sake of example. Now, go to the high season, month of August, right? That client is gonna pay you 2.8, maybe 3.2, right? In that range. But this client, you're gonna be able to sell maybe 2,000, maybe 2,002. Now, obviously, when it comes to August, I don't want that, right?
Right.
I only want this, right? But here's the thing. If you are greedy and say to this client, no, in the high season, then come to low season, you're gonna go knock on his door and say, hey, you wanna come again? I give you the rate. And he's gonna say, let me just compare. So the idea is to select the lucrative ones that you want to have your base. And to stick to them by way of solution selling. Solution selling is what makes the difference. Meaning, I don't position myself as a service provider to her. I position myself next to her to understand what is the direction she wants to go, what is the strategy for this year, and I will liaise with her in the key times saying that, yes, I remember you told me that you guys are gonna do mooncakes this year, so here is the prices that we have. I remember you told me you have a Q2 mid-year strategic meeting about 100 people. We have Suzhou property will be opening. We have a ballroom there. Would you consider that product? So in a way, we engage without waiting them to come here, and that enables you to create bond by giving a little bit in the high season, but cultivating a lot more on the low season. If you don't do this and become greedy, then the client obviously will see you as a one-off supplier, not as a partner. And I think that many of the companies that I work with, like Hilton, IHG, even in Banyan Tree and even in Club Med, we were being diluted by competition, right? Because it is very likely that your client becomes mine, my client becomes yours in a matter of months, right? Because 20 RMB, 30 RMB difference
is good enough for one company to switch the entire group to another hotel.
Right.
I mean, it's just the streets apart, right? Think about in the city, or think about example of Sanya, Yalombe.
Yeah.
Right? If I blindfold you and open your eyes in Haitang Bay Intercom or Haitang Bay Westin, I bet you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
Well, the client knows it as well. So how to overcome this challenge is to cultivate relationship with the clients and to divide the sales force into specialties. Like, you don't want to have 3 people looking after your car industry. If you want to have clients from the car industry, you want to get this to under one person and let that person specialize in that industry.
Yeah.
So that, like if you are selling shoes, and if I know nothing about the shoes, would I be able to do solution selling to you? Right? So I gotta have a basic understanding of the industry itself. Like in car industry example, the new models will come out in Q4, right? So from Q4 onwards is sort of the product launch time. Q1 will be the training period for the new models. So let's say a Porsche coming up with a new model. So what will the Porsche company will do? They will come and train their own stuff, right? So Q1, you will have a lot of internal Porsche meetings, whereas Q4, you will have a lot of marketing Porsche meetings. So what it is, gotta be smart here. Look, marketing meeting is gonna happen one time. Training meeting is gonna happen over and over again. So give Porsche a good price on the training, on the marketing sort of a meeting. Please them, be reasonable in your price. You might capture a lot more of their training business in the Q1 when the business is scarce. So that is sort of understanding how this company will work and what will be their schedule. It will be different from pharmaceutical. It will be different for financial institutions and so on and so forth. This is how we do it.
So that implies that you drive the group sales through the headquarters instead of sites, right?
Say again?
The sales team will be based in the group level, right?
Right, they are here. But there's also satellite ones. Like not only Shanghai, right? We have also Suzhou. We have also Hangzhou. Now we are this year putting one in Ningbo. We are also, because we have the hub just opened in Beijing, so we are also thinking to put in Beijing, because lately we see something that we haven't seen in the past, is that people are taking a flight to come to Hangzhou, to take a car, come to Moganshan, and take the way back, go to Beijing. Normally this is not our key client, you see. Our positioning is outside a 1 and a 1.5 tier city. So we aim to get the business out of Shanghai, in Moganshan example, or Shanghai, Suzhou, Hangzhou, let's say. We don't expect people to take a flight from Beijing to come to us, but in the past 2017, we see many examples of people traveling from north with the purpose of staying in our hotel. So that means that it is perhaps time to get into the Beijing market, explore that market a little bit.
And this sales team will be very much like dedicated to group sales for
particularly. But by way of fueling that, you also drive that affect that positively.
Maybe you can explain a little bit how you structure your management company in terms of structure, how you structure sales team, how you structure your others like ops team.
Because our document probably is a little bit outdated.
Okay, let's do like this. I draw you an organization chart.
Thank you.
Let's draw it here. So, you guys know the organization, right? Manoj,
Kurt,
Manoj,
we know.
There's me, there's John who does the set, the hubs and all. So let's start with me. I stay on the top, right? Underneath me, there is an array of departments. So let's write with him. He is in business development, right? Then I have technical services. Now, technical services is the continuation of what he does. He brings the business, he signs the contract, pass it to technical services. Technical services see through the construction till the opening and give it to the GM, the project. So that's what technical services does. Then the operation, we have the engineering team.
Sorry, TS is something like boundary ID, right? Something.
No. IDAD is the design team.
Right.
Technical services
Oh, yeah,
team.
design team is outside of.
Technical services team is the team who will make sure that the design and specs are built according.
All right, got
It
it.
is a service that I will sell to the developer.
All right, yeah.
Right? So, in example of Naked Group, we do the design ourselves. But in example of other companies, maybe the design is being purchased by a designer.
Yeah.
And in that case, the management company will have standards. We'll give the standards to the design company. The design company is going to do the design. And so management company will want to make sure that their standards are being built, not only designed, but built. So they will put a technical service person
Yeah.
with the pretext that, well, it supports the owner. But in fact, one of the key reasons is to make sure that what we say will be built is built according to the specs that we want.
Right.
And day in and day out, the guy is going to spend time with all the contractors, check all the things, say, hey, if you build that one like that fire sprinkler, you're not going to get a license.
Right.
You got to make it 5 centimeters longer.
Yeah.
And that's what they do.
I think in Bantry, the operation department does this part of the job, right?
Still have a technical service department. In fact, the guy that I have is coming from Bantry. Okay, so we have the engineering department. Then we have finance function. We have HR function. We have sales and marketing function. And I have also a quality function. Quality function. Right. Now, the sales and marketing function divides into sales, marketing. Sales divide into reservation, okay, and comp sales, okay, which will also cover your weddings and your social events and all that. So there's a lot of segments happening, and reservation will also have a subdivision called revenue management.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the sales and marketing organization, and obviously under the marketing, we will have PR, we will have marketing design, which is the graphic, right? We will have marketing communications, copywriting, editing, and so on and so forth. I'm trying to think whether I'm forgetting anything. Finance, you will have account receivable, right? Account payable. You will have purchasing. Let me rephrase. Procurement. There is very little purchasing being done here. Besides stationery and stuff.
Office stuff.
Most of the things that we do is in the sense of procurement and deals.
Right.
That then we will pass that to the resort level, and the resort level will do the purchasing itself. So under the HR, we will have a training, payroll, and so on and so forth. So this is the organization of corporate. And look, now I'm going to draw for you underneath this. Maybe I draw it on the side, the organization of the hotel, so you can actually see the link. Maybe we do like this, look. So in the hotel level, doesn't exist, okay? So my counterpart in the hotel level will be the GM.
Right.
So the GM will report to me. Ultimately, everybody under the GM, right, will report to him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the catch now. There is a dotted lines, okay, here. So my director of engineer, the regional director of engineer, will oversee the director of engineering of the resorts. That will be his main contacts. His objectives are aligned with his objectives. My financier will oversee the director of finance in the resort. My HR will oversee the local HR in the resort. My sales and marketing team will oversee the local sales and event team. Because our sales team here will confirm and sell the event. But we have another team who will handle the event there. And also, they also do local sales calls, because the Qing and Moganshan area is also starting to be lucrative a little bit. So we are also getting some F&B business locally. So we have a very small sales force in Moganshan. And they will link to this here. And the quality will actually link with front office, F&B, housekeeping.
That's like an operation team.
More operational sort of a thing. Now, this currently vacant. So this is your humble Tolga who is doing it now. But there is one guy we hired. He's gonna be starting now.
Okay.
But this is the core of what we do here, actually. So what happens is that, let's say, the general manager would like to recruit one HR director, right? So in principle, if you are the general manager, I gave you your annual targets and you are in charge, right?
Right.
So you are autonomous to run your business in a way, right? But here, in this sense, although he's the decision maker, when he wants to recruit the HR director, he needs to liaise with this guy,
Yeah.
ask his opinion, involve him in the interview process, get his feedback, and then he reports back to me saying, look, we are aligned, yes, we both think that this is the right person, and so on and so forth.
And
Like, if I want to have some energy saving initiatives from here, I will talk to him and he's going to cascade this down, he's going to compile between the results and get
Understood.
back to me. So I have these dotted lines, and I have the same objectives align these functions and the results that is coming up. So this is the organization chart.
Very clear.
To add on that, can you give us some quantitative number? How big is the team? And going forward, I saw the management plan, so I think it's quite aggressive. So when you add more one side, how many more people you have to hire under the quality and sales marketing team?
Okay. In 2017 versus 2015, here we hired 5 more people.
So altogether, it's like 50 people now, right?
Something like that,
Something
some
like that.
50, 51,
Right.
something like this. In 2017 versus 2018, here is one of the changes.
Right.
Here is one of the changes. Intact. Actually, for here, I'm gonna give him one more person because his development is too many piling up. So he's gonna have one person here. And as soon as he confirms another 2 projects, I will have to give one more here.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Because they will need to handle, one technical service person can handle maybe 2 or 3 projects. After that, it's, efficiency will drop. This we are okay. For now, it's okay, but after the trading of Naked Water starts trading, maybe then we might need to reinforce. No problem, it's okay. We said +5 and here we recruited 1 person.
I think
Although there is here currently one junior person working together with me in managing this side, right? That is not really doing what needs to be done. It's just helping me.
Yeah.
This is currently vacant.
Okay, I think it's very clear. I'm benchmarking with the other hotel management group, just like discussion for discussion purpose. I think that will be where the pressure up if we have more sites, like the quality and SMM.
Here.
Yeah, these 2.
Yeah, but you also need to understand this. If this team here doesn't do their job
Of course.
properly,
Yeah.
eventually
That pressure will be here,
a lot increase. Now, while they are doing their job of building the hotel, this team here has to hire the right people
Yeah.
for that project. So
course.
if that is not done,
Yeah.
and if those trainings in the pre-opening not done, then you might perhaps sell it, but then the quality will not be there.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult to say where it will collapse, if it does collapse. Like let's say you open a hotel and you hit the rock bottom, right? And you want to put the finger on where it was the mistake. I don't think that you could just say sales and marketing. I bet you there will be issues across the board.
Understood. So my question is, if you look at the entry, their position, the counterpart to your position, I think it has a much better life because their operation is somehow like managing all the GMs, like doing the daily, weekly, monthly check-in, as managing all these KPIs. But now if you look at this structure, I think my question is like, for you, I think you need to manage all this monthly check-in and all this.
It is very similar to Banyan Tree structure, key performance objectives, right? It is very similar to Banyan Tree, Hilton, any other company in that sense.
This is a very small team now, so that's what I'm saying. It's more like the pressure is on this level. Because there's no, because I think in voluntary structure, operating there, 7 people there.
Right.
Making, like, managing the GMs, managing.
Right, because this in a Banyan Tree example, you also have QA
Right.
team, quality assurance team, that currently does not exist in us, right? There is also under the QA team a brand team that writes and the standards.
HR team is there too.
So this part is a lot bigger than us because obviously
Okay.
they trade a lot more. But the system and the principles remains the same in terms of the objectives. I mean, we give the objectives here and they align here.
Okay.
I give the objectives to GM of the resort, right? Which then are being cascaded in the department heads, and the HR objectives in this resort somehow align with the HR objectives of the corporate, right? The objectives of engineering do align with the objective of engineering here. My objectives are dispatched among these people and towards the resort. Because you see that the trick will be, his objectives at the resort level will be his GOP, his EBIT.
Right.
Whereas my objectives here will be the fees that I collect from him.
Right.
So in a sense, I am an expense to him, he's a revenue to me, right? But more money he makes for his top line, more money I make for my top line, because I take a percentage from him in terms of a management fee. So that sort of is the only difference in terms of the numbers. But as the objectives align, it's pretty much similar. 3 financial objectives and 3 non-financial objectives.
The satisfaction and
yes, the non-financial ones will be one for the team members,
churn rate,
team member engagement, right? Guest satisfaction, okay, and one CSR initiative.
Okay. And there will be revenue, GOP.
And here, for sure, there will be, well, depending on who that is, like in the resort GM level, it will be the GOP or the EBIT, right? Then it will be the revenue, the total hotel revenue, and it could be then GOP percentage, or it could be F&B revenue, whatever the position is, depending on the person. But most of the people has 3, few, like myself, has 4 financial KPIs, and 3 or 2 non-financial KPIs.
I think structure-wise it's very
No, but the thing is that the key thing is, as you mentioned before, the sales team and marketing team in general, hotel chain, is most of the sales team is with the resort itself, rather than stay so heavily. I think it's really heavily within the Naked Retreat.
Why is that?
And
Source market.
And what's the impact? Because normally in the retreat, in the resort business, this team, I mean the expense of the team belong to the resort owner, right? The landlord.
Okay.
But for us,
question.
we have a really big like G&A cost in the future.
Good question. We need to reply this like this. Okay. All right. Let me find another way to write. In the classic hotels, yes, you're right, because classic hotel holds a sales team locally.
Yeah.
Because that sales team sells locally. It's just that in our example, in the rural areas, having a sales team in the hotel is not just economical, because there is not enough clients to sell around. The source client is in Shanghai for our current portfolio. Tomorrow I open one hotel outskirts of Beijing, then my source clients will be in Beijing. Right? So then I have to develop a sales force in Beijing. So the idea is to have sales force where the clients are. Okay? Now, this clarifies why I have people here versus the resort. Now, but your question about the finances of these people. Now, I charge several fees to the hotels, you see. I charge them a management fee, incentive management fee. This is
3%.
This is revenue, percentage of the revenue. This is percentage of GOP. It can go up or down versus the GOP percentage. And there's a third one, marketing fee.
Marketing fee, reservation fee.
Oh, that's why I saw the number is so big.
Okay. So this is the fee I charge to the resort. So that fee is the fee that they pay to me for me to advertise their business, for me to do their sales, done. Now, today, relatively easy. What could go wrong tomorrow? Let's say you have one property in Suzhou, you have one property in Wuxi. Now, you pay me 300,000, you pay me 300,000. And he has one wedding group
Yeah,
with 300 rooms. Now I give it to you. You might go, hey dude, where's mine?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I also pay you, right? So there comes the lessons that we gotta learn from the past experiences and from big groups to be transparent on our spending. Today, it's left pocket and right pocket, Morganshan owned by Grand Horsfield,
Right.
Castle owned by Grand Horsfield. So, you don't like to go there, okay, go there, it's same. But tomorrow with other properties coming, we need to be transparent on how much fee we collected, which marketing initiatives we spend this fee, which clients we had to entertain, where we're gonna use this fee, why we needed to recruit a new person.
Right.
Prepare this in way of clear dissertation and inform the partners actively saying that this is what is being done and this is the strategy ahead.
Right.
This approach in bigger companies like Hilton and in IHG brings a lot better result than, for example, in Banyan Tree. Because in Banyan Tree, KP Ho, when he has a group, he rather put in his property in Phuket because he owns it 100%, than put it in the Lijiang.
Right.
Right? Because in Lijiang, he's gonna get
Collect the revenue.
4% out of the revenue, but in Phuket, he's gonna get 100% of the revenue.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, but on the other hand, his Lijiang property pays him a marketing fee that helped him to catch that client, and so does his Phuket team. You understand the dilemma?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that creates a little bit of problem when you own the property. So you gotta be very active in promoting this. When I worked in Banyan Tree, my owner, I worked from 2013 to 2014, 1.5 year. They haven't paid the marketing fees since 2012 to Banyan Tree. So,
Shanghai one, right?
no, BTG Group, Beijing Travel Group.
Okay.
And I had to come in and had several rounds of discussion. And their question was exactly this. What they give us? We pay this money, fine. But what is the return? What do I get with it? I don't want to see one printed advertisement. What does that advertisement means for me?
Right.
How does it come to here? In my pocket. Right? You do advertisement, great, but if all of that is going to go to your Phuket property, don't charge me for it, in a way. So that was the case. So when I worked after in Intercontinental, I saw a better format. They were very active in promoting it. They were very transparent in all the initiatives that they take. And that was sort of bringing a better buy-in from the landlords, because they can see the value. They can see that there is a team driving it. They can see that the people are going into the new markets. We are saying, I'm telling you, we're going to have a new salesperson in Ningbo. Or Suzhou is doing great, so we're going to add another salesperson this year. Well, Hangzhou has been increasing triple digits, so we want to put more people. Or digital channels is growing. Maybe we need another coordinator to manage the content.
Yeah.
Right? And all that brings this result, and that brings that result for you, sort of.
Right.
That sort of translates in a good way. That is how I think should be done moving forward. Is it being done today like this? No, because there is no necessity to justify the expenses in such a manner, because we own all of them.
Yeah.
But coming a few months when S&D will be in the game, with Naked Water coming in, we will have to be very objective in saying, yes, we own these, or Brookfield also owns some of them, or somebody owns them, but we don't own this, never mind, all of them are responsibility. We're gonna give equal attention.
Right.
Maybe a client go to you today, you make him happy, he's gonna go to another one, he's gonna make him happy, and he's gonna go to another one, and you're gonna recycle that client back and forth.
Right.
That's the idea to maintain.
And yeah, on top of the structure, I think the next level question is like how we build up, especially the village level, the site level, the team, because you see all the luxury resorts are suffering by the churn rate.
Three main sources, right? Locals for the rank and file level, for mid managers and manager level and director level, which is department heads, Chinese talent as much as possible from all over the places in China, coming from international hotels and resorts with experiences. I put an asterisk, who wants to be in the remote location? Because you might have a very talented financial person who's absolutely great but hates to be in Suzhou. Doesn't want to be in a remote location, and it will not work. So for this to work, the key criteria is really to find people who enjoy a certain lifestyle.
Agreed.
Right? So, and the third segment, which is quite key as well, is the trainees. Alliances that you make with schools, that you capture an amount of trainee per year, and they come and do, say, 6 months, 9 months training in your property, and then in return, when they would graduate, you can give them opportunity to have a permanent contract in the place. You guys asking him some questions as well. I'm gonna go toilet. I come back.
Okay, sounds good. That's 那我们就用中文啊。对，那要不然我们其实关于新的这个，因为我可能问一个我们有系统的问题啊，我可能先一个最关键我最关心的问题。我看现在就是怕 management fee 收不上来这个问题，我们怎么保证我们选的 landlord， 因为我们要 site 嘛，我们还是对 site 有要求，所以可能 landlord 的 quality 和这个 site 的 quality 不一定能够同时满足，对。所以在这个过程中，我们怎么能保证我们保证了 site， 又找的不是流氓，对吧？这个 landlord 还能跟我们 cooperate， 因为你看像白洋吹上海就收不着钱嘛，那边一直收不着钱，生意不好就不行。所以这您能帮我理解一下我们是怎么保证？尤其我们现在规模还没有其他几个竞争对手啊，全国到处都有，这您帮我理解。
我觉得啊，对，现在在酒店行业是有这个问题，尤其酒店这个城市酒店这个行业，竞争太激烈了。那么我们怎么避免这个问题呢？首先在事前，我们要尽量去判断这个业主的 financial background， 对吧？我们也会通过一些法律手段去做这个决定，这大家都能做。
对，
我们也可以通过其他的一些途径，比如说在行业里面打听一下这样的业主，比如说假设我们跟白洋区这样的业主去合作，我们要去了解他之前的费没有去交给这管理方是因为什么原因，是吧？因为他整体的这个现在的现金流的问题，还是这个业主代表跟这个酒店总经理之间有一些个人矛盾，还是说你这个只是这个 property 的问题，这我们都要去了解清楚。所以在做项目评估的时候，这个业主他本身的一个背景，还有他开发酒店的经验，以及他之前的一些 track record， 这个我们肯定会去评估的，不一定能量化，是吧？这是第一个。第二呢，就是我们的酒店管理协议在谈判的时候啊 ，fee 虽然是很重要，对吧？它其实还是一个 structure 的问题，主要就那3项，还有一些条款来讲的话，我们会相对来讲比较灵活。但灵活不是说我放很多的东西啊，而是说我愿意去跟业主去商谈，确保这接下来15年这20年的婚姻怎么样可以比较美满的走下去。他不能太强势，我也不可能太强势。任何一个酒店，如果说在10年或者20年一直能够经营下去不撤牌的，肯定是这酒店管理公司跟这业主代表关系好的不得了的。我们在中国看到情况都是这样的，所以我们尽量在事前，一个是说他的背景有了解，第二在酒店协议里面双方都不要太苛刻，都留一点空间，就是为了确保将来他在这个付费用的时候，因为对业主的思路都是一样的，你们就是一个管理公司，反正也没什么投入，每个业主都是这样想的，我每个月还要交管理费给你。那么同样的，我们是不是要给他 deliver 一些比较好的一些 service？ 因为说到底，我们还是一个 service provider。所以在协议里面来讲的话，我们愿意去听他的一些 voice， 放到这个协议里面内容里面去。所以这个是事前，就是在真正这个酒店开业之前，我们会去做的2件事情。
不好意思，我打断您一下，就您这里选业主的偏好会跟因为 Club Med 得开 joint view 吗？
是。
但包括他们这会有不一样吗？我们喜欢什么业主会跟 Club Med 或者白洋区这些人不一样吗？
我们肯定首先会考虑他这个背景实力最强的，如果是国企，或者说央企，或者说有国企央企成分的合资公司，如果是民企的话呢，是最好是上市公司，如果不是上市公司，那么我们会去了解一下他之前的一些开发酒店的经验。总的来说，还是要看好这个事情。
谢谢。Bring you guys tea.
反正留着还是什么，把它取下来。
那我们自己来
这
办
是房间。